Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Advancement Center, and welcome to the world beyond magic and miracles, the world beyond worlds, and the world that is merging with my world as we speak together once again in a conversation about everything and about nothing and about everything in between, about the magnificence of each one of us, the mystery of how we're together, the mystery of how everything we look at is breathtaking in the moment that is breathtaking, and how in the stillness of any moment you may not know what day it is and even where you are, because it doesn't matter. And the joy and laughter and smiles that are shared between two people or 20 people, that echoes out into the field and multiplies to every part of the universe. So the beings who are not here are sharing your laughter, and sharing your smiles, and sharing your joy. What an unbelievable life this is we live. If you step back and are able to detach from the brain, even just for a moment, you'll experience the brilliance of a million years, and it'll fill your whole day if it's just one moment. It's been a great week of visits, and more visits, and still more visits are coming. And we are all excited about sharing a laugh and sharing a smile. And that's how it is every day. Everywhere you go, with strangers and those you know, sharing a smile. I walked through the drugstore, and a man, older man, we met eyes, and I said, hello. And he said, hi. And he said, how are you? And I said, great, how are you? And with a little mischief in his face, he said, I'm great. Last time I looked, there was no grass going over top of me. So all's good. And I just smiled and I said, that's it. And he moved on slowly, but he left an essence of his mischief. And it was a beautiful feeling. There's so much magic bubbling out of each person and so much mischief. Because the mischief is that wink, that smile, that knowing look that creates the best fun, where you can laugh at yourself and laugh with others. The gift of mischief. It always gives to the receiver and the sender. And it frees you from the death that comes with seriousness. You'll live a long time with mischief because you'll always be playing. But there was great magic that happened last week, and I just want to share for some that may be watching this broadcast now how incredible the magic is. And as I sat here last Friday and gave my broadcast, and after finishing the broadcast, I had to go to work for a little bit. And there was this little boy named Jackson that I had run into a couple days before at work at our tennis camp. And I hadn't seen him for over a year, but he always didn't seem to fit in. But he had these eyes and this essence of someone who wasn't from here, but was ancient. And I saw him, and as he passed by me, he called my name. And I said, "Hey, Jackson." And some of the other coaches had told me, as they talk about the camp, that I'm not teaching, that Jackson was still a little difficult with some of the other kids. And I had found these orange tennis balls that were like from the 1970s in a trash can on the court. And they don't sell those anymore. So I picked them up and had them. And when I saw Jackson, I said, "Jackson, I'm going to give you this orange tennis ball." And I said, "Just listen to the coaches and you can take it home." And his face lit up. And he said, "It's for me?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "I can take it home?" And I said, "Yeah." And he walked away with his orange tennis ball. And I said, "But it's up to the coaches to let you take it home." And then I saw him as I was leaving. He was having lunch and he had a crystal in his hand. And he said, "Do you know what this is?" I said, "Yeah, it's a crystal." And he said, "You know which one?" I said, I think so, but he said, Obsidian. This little boy is 8 years old, by the way. And he said his mom knew all about crystals. And so that was the end of our interaction. I would ask the coaches the next day, did Jackson get to keep the ball? And they said, no, he wasn't behaving. So I said, we need to make sure he gets the ball because I gave him my word in essence. And so that Friday on my broadcast, after I left and went back to work, I asked the coach, did he give Jackson the orange ball? And he said, yes. And I said, oh, that's great. And he said he still had some difficulties, but he was happy to encourage him. And then as I left work, I checked my phone, and my beloved friend Moji told me that as I was broadcasting, just as I am now, the face of a little boy, blonde, blue eyes, appeared on my face. I had never spoke to her about this boy or any boy. And she said he was in distress. And I described Jackson to her. And she said, that's him. And she said, is there any way you can talk to him? He's in distress. He doesn't feel like he wants to stay here much longer. And I made some calls, and I was able to speak to his mom and just say, just calling to check on Jackson to make sure he got the orange ball. And she expressed her gratitude and talked about how much he loved tennis and said, yeah, he struggles in groups of kids. He's got some impulse control problems. But we know that that's not the case. He's not from here. And so what a magnificent display of magic that was. And to have someone see someone else's face in your face and deliver a message, you have to ask yourself, as we say back on the ranch, am I making this shit up? And then to find out it's real. That Jackson, through my connection with him, appeared to Moji because of her sensitivity to those beings. And we were able to communicate with him. And the story went on because I realized the next day that when I was at work waiting to leave, I saw a boy walk by who's a musician. He's a young man who we met here and I met outside of here. And his name is Jackson. And I almost called out to him, hey, Jackson. But it was so odd to see him there, so I didn't believe it was him. And then later I remembered that after the broadcast, I was sitting out here and Barbara went in the office and Robert was doing some things on the computer. And 20 minutes later, Barbara comes out and says, I was just listening to the Jackson 5. And I thought, what are you listening to the Jackson 5 for? That's my music. That's my era. How did you find the Jackson 5? And my mind was just like, and then I realized it's Jackson. And it's so incredible, that magic. And that's happening all the time. Messages are being delivered. And whoever gets them, they can pass them on. But I can feel Jackson even as we're speaking, with a wink and a little bit of mischief of how he made himself known and reached out, because it's hard being here when you're not from here. And there are many kids like him. And Jackson is loved. And Jackson came to this planet to do something that only Jackson knows. And he will do it. So that's a beautiful picture of the magic. And everyone is experiencing it all the time as you stop and listen and feel. And you can hear the voices. You can see the faces. And you could connect to that other world that's right behind the world that you're sitting in. As I talked to Moji the day after about this, had another moment of teleporting. As we spoke on the phone, the sound got so clear, like I had never heard it before on a phone, and realized that she was where I was and I was where she was. And it was on the platform WhatsApp. And I thought, well, I got to make all my calls on this because it's so clear. And she said, no, it's never been like this. And it was like we missed the signal because I teleported there, she teleported here. Somebody should have stayed where they were. But anyway, more magic, teleportation, incredible. And all these things are just the next thing that we keep stepping into. Or that whole story with Jackson and things like that are so incredible. And then if I wasn't telling this story, it slips away into the background because something more comes. And you can almost fill a book with the things that come into your field that change your life, because they just never stop coming over and over and over. And you think, oh, this is incredible. And then there's something more that's more incredible. And you just keep going to a reality that you find existing that includes everything, leaves nothing out, but has no problems, has no worries, has no fears. And is filled with your music, your individual song playing that you've known all your life, and that plays when you look at a flower and when you say hello to a stranger. We've already made the choice, and now we surpass everything we've ever known. Every science fiction movie has given us a sense of where we're headed so that we have a picture to go with the feeling that's been inside of us since the beginning. We are about to boldly go where no human has gone before. We are surpassing being human while still being human. We have unplugged ourselves from this virtual reality system because the time that we were given to participate has expired, and we are moving into something brand new that we have never experienced before. And when the time expires in that place, we will move again. The door is now open for all who wish to move to a new world, a new state of being, a new way of operating, a new reality. All are welcome, but each one must choose. It is and always has been your free, sovereign choice to move on or to continue with the world that you exist in now. And there is only honor and respect for you as a sovereign being and the choice that you make. The truth is, we are just living out the choice we already made. That's why we can use words like destiny and destined, because we have already chose it. And with the power that each one of us has as a sovereign being, that choice and that destiny cannot be stopped. There are rules for every game that gets created. Every reality is created to give you the experience that you desire within the parameters of the game that you have chosen. And there are pitchmen and marketers standing by to promote their game as a world for you to experience. Only you can choose to stay in the game or leave it. And as I read these words, I tell you that if you choose to leave, there is now a place for you to go. This place is beyond all created realms of limited experience. It is before the creation of many realities, while at the same time being after. It is before because it is at the beginning of you, and it is after because it is the original you that is choosing a new realm that has surpassed all the ones before. An indescribable place with an indescribable you, where the only rule is randomness, and where you have full remembrance of who you are. You will consciously come and go into any reality that you choose, for you will have transcended all matter. Once again, the door to this world is now open, and I am choosing to walk through it. And as Jesus said, in a little while, you will see me no more. And then after a little while, you will see me again. And as the holographic structures that have been built to facilitate this virtual reality and the rules that govern it begin to fall like a house of cards in front of your eyes, your heart smiles a smile that can't be contained for what awaits you on the other side of that door. There's great excitement and anticipation as this world full of unknown is entered. I can feel the freedom and I can feel the support of the universe. And somewhere deep inside me, I am reminded that we have already made the choice and we are going home. And he said, "Let there be light." And there was light. In each one, there was light. Thank you for joining me today. It's always an honor. And of course, I wish you a perfect life, perfect health, and a magic future. Thank you.